So drop your awareness down. It's almost like you're coming out of the head and into the body, because for so many of us, we've been trained, if you like, to just be walking heads that are walking around, and we forget what our body actually feels like. So this is the opportunity to drop your awareness down, maybe coming to the heart, or maybe beginning to explore the whole body. And what you're trying to do, maybe do is not the right word, but what you're trying to explore is how the body is without attaching any story to it. So if you've got a sensation, even if you might think that's painful, or you've got fatigued, try not to attach a story to it, such as, oh my goodness, how's that going to be tomorrow or the next day? Is that because I did so and so before? Try to come out of all these narratives, just as if you're somebody very neutral and kind, looking at how your bodily sensations are. And then take a moment or two to see if there's any emotions or feelings there. And if there are, just observe how these might be affecting you on a physical level. And again, without the story, just observing sensations. So anything physical or emotional, observing it more as a sensation in the body rather than as a thought or an analysis, a story. And then just seeing how the mind is today in this moment. And then just seeing if you can allow everything to be as it is. So you're not resisting your current experience. And anything that might be difficult, you're bringing a sense of kindness and acceptance to this. And then feeling yourself ground. So that means just beginning to be aware of your seat, your sitting bones, and how they are held and supported. And then anything that may or may not be touching the floor. So that might be your feet or your knees, depending how you're sitting, or if you are lying, that might be your back. And just have a sense of the floor holding you so you can release. This sense of safety almost. So what's holding you is giving you a sense of safety, but what we're aiming for is to begin to feel safe in our bodies. Even in silence, we're beginning to feel safe. And then we're going to explore how the breath is. So just for a moment or two, without judgment, just observe how your breathing rhythm is. Not trying to change anything at the moment, just exploring. And then if it's okay for you, just begin to let the breath settle and slow down, but don't force anything, keep it natural. And then we're going to take one hand to the heart, the other just below the belly button. And we're going to breathe into the hand that's below the navel or on the navel. So as we breathe in, that hand slightly moves out. As we breathe out, it settles back again. The hand on the upper chest is pacifying this area. And as you breathe like this, just a reminder that when we breathe from the upper chest, which is what we do when we're in maybe a chronic stress pattern or fight and flight. This is telling our system that we're not safe and it's keeping us slightly activated. So this is the opportunity to begin to let the breath to settle and slow down, to remind ourselves that to maintain health or cultivate health, we want to breathe slowly through the nose from the diaphragm. And if you can't access this yet, that's fine. This is just something that we're aiming for and practicing. And then just for a moment or two, focus only on the exhalation. And then resting your hands on your knees, just for a moment or two, seeing if you can find stillness by focusing on the pause after the exhalation and dropping into that silence. And then when you're ready, open your eyes, take your fingertips to your shoulders. We're just going to roll our shoulders a few times just to release any tension in the upper body. And then release the hands down and think of the upper body in the heart opening and expanding and lifting. Because when we're tired, when we're ill, we tend to crumple over, particularly if we're using devices a lot. So this is just a reminder to keep the heart lifted but in a way that's comfortable, the head and neck aligned, ears over the shoulders, jaw releasing, eyes soft, ribs open. And then when you're ready, and if you would like, please come to a comfortable standing position. Now, I promise we're not going to do anything too dynamic or tiring as we're standing, but please listen to your body. So if you need to rest at any time before I bring that in, you rest and lie down. And you can always visualize what we're doing. So I'm just going to alter my camera a little. I always warn you because otherwise you see me looming towards the screen. So you come when you're ready to a comfortable standing position. And we're just going to start by thinking about our posture. So bring your feet together, make a V by bringing the toes out, heels together, and then lift the heels and step the heels so that your heels and toes are in line with your hips. And then just have a sense of the feet spreading and widening. And just slightly lift the arches of your feet. And then just roll your feet in and out, just to get some movement into the feet and into the ankles. So often we forget about our feet, and yet, of course, they are supporting us when we stand. And it's important to get this alignment because it actually has a great impact on the rest of our structure, including our knees and hips. And then we're going to roll forward over the toes and back over the heels a few times. And then we're going to find the center point where we feel in balance. And then don't lock the knees. So they're not kind of bent, but they're quite soft. And then coming up to your hips, your pelvis area, you might like to just swing forward and back again, like we did with the feet. We're just finding that center point where we're balanced. You can just tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards. And then coming to a comfortable position. So you've got minimum tension on your lower spine. The pelvis is into neutral. And then we're thinking about the rib cage now, because this is housing the diaphragm. So let the ribs be open so we're not sinking into our hips. So we're just lifting out of the hips. And then we're thinking about the heart, lifting and opening. So above the waist, we've got a feeling of lift in the spine going up, but not strain. And below the waist, we're grounded down into our feet. And then we're just again going to roll the shoulders like we did when we were sitting. And then relax the arms and just observe where the hands come. Now, very often they come in front of the body, but we're just going to open those shoulders a bit. So the middle finger is in line with the side of the leg or the side of your legging seams. This just helps to open up across the heart. And then we can do this movement, which you've done before, where we bring the elbows and hands together and we just open out to the sides. So we're helping this area to open. We're bringing the shoulder blades together as we open up and then relax the hands down. And then just take left ear to left shoulder and center, right ear to right shoulder and center. And then I'd like you to imagine that you're wearing a neck brace. And we're just going to gently roll the head around that neck brace. We're not taking the head too far back, too far down. Just moving around the neck. And then we can do that the other way. Come back to center and just take a moment or two with your eyes closed to feel how this posture feels. You might like to, on the exhalation, just draw the navel in slightly to the spine, just to begin to get in touch with your core muscles. But if this is too much for your energy, you don't have to do this. And we're going to breathe up through the feet, up the legs, sending energy up to the heart. And then breathe down from the heart, down and out through the legs and out through the feet. So just take a few breaths like that, breathing up to the heart and down, up through the soles of the feet from Mother Earth into the heart and down. And then we're going to add in some chanting and movement. So we're going to inhale, lifting the arms up above our heads, turn the palms back the other way, and then we're going to chant Om Ram Ram Ram, taking the hands to Manipura chakra. So the Ram 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 is the seed mantra for Manipura chakra. So again, I'll do that with you. Inhale up, palms together. You can't quite see me, and then turn the palms the other way and then chant them back. Om Ram Ram Ram. Try that 3 times more in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch. Remember to keep the shoulders relaxed as you come up. Don't take them up to your ears. Keep everything relaxed. Just moving softly. And then from here, we're going to do a little bit of shaking, something we haven't done for a while, and it's really beneficial. It's particularly good for working with PDST because it helps to release any held, unprocessed stress or tension. But if you find it tiring or too much, just do it for maybe 30 seconds. See how you go. Listen to your body always. So we're just going to start by bouncing up and down on our feet. Knees are soft. And we let the hands go. And then we find the whole body begins to join in with the rhythm of shaking. And depending on your energy levels, you can just do this softly, or you can do this a little bit more dynamically. So keep listening to your energy, and you might like to go from side to side. Remember to stop at any time if you feel it's tiring. This is actually a classic Dr. Peter Levine movement from his book on PDST, Waking the Tiger. I often incorporate it in yoga because it is really beneficial for helping the system to relax and to release excessive stress. So begin to slow it down now. Do remember you can practice this during the week if you want. And what I'd like you to do now is just come again to your standing posture, close your eyes and observe how you're feeling. You might feel some tingling and aliveness in the body, and just enjoy that sense of energy in the body. Keep the jaw soft, eyes released, back of the neck long, tucking into the chin into the chest rather. And then we're going to do a bit more stress relief combined with breathing. So this probably has a Sanskrit name, but I was always told this was called the wood chopper. So for this, it's probably helpful if you do look at the screen for a bit. So have your feet a bit more than hip width apart. We're going to inhale, stretching up and imagining we're holding a wood chopper or something, we're holding it, and then we're going to bend our knees, breathing in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, and swinging. Just letting everything go. And then again, inhaling up, exhaling through the mouth and swinging, with the ha breath. So just try that 2 or 3 times in your own breathing rhythm. And when you've finished, again, come to Samastiti, your Tadasana, your posture. And again, just feel into your body with the eyes closed. Just explore, just knowing you're beginning to wake up the body. It's always a balance as we're recovering, that we're not pushing too much. We don't want to relax, but equally we do need to begin to move to get the mitochondria and the oxygen into the mitochondria to get everything waking up. So keep listening to your body because you know what you can do and what is enough. So just take this opportunity again to tune into your physical being. And then again, we're going to think about the feet. Really important. We're going to take a comfortable stride forward with the right foot, not too far. And then we're going to come forward onto the right the right sole, lifting the left heel. And we're going to come back to the left sole and lift the right heel. I'll come back a bit more so you can see me. So left heel lifts, right toe lifts. We're just swaying backwards and forwards. This is, I always say in yoga, it's the subtle movements which are the most powerful. So this is a movement I learned from the somatic guru, Simon Lowe. Something he does in his class is just, you know, if we're working on the feet, we're working on the whole system. And then come back to Samasthiti, and just observe if the left side feels different from the right. Without judgment. And then we're going to change over. So the right foot comes forward, the left one comes back. Always remember, so we're going to lift the left toes and then come forward onto that left foot and lift the right heel. Left toes lift, right heel lifts. And always remember, if you have pain anywhere, never push into it. You rest out or you modify. So again, I'm not with you in your space. So if anything feels too much or isn't right for your body, you can visualize it or just rest out. And that applies to all the movement that we do. And then again, come back to Samasthiti. And with your eyes closed, just feel into your feet. Feel how your feet feel. And you might like to imagine roots going down from your heels down into the earth, just helping to ground you as the rest of you is lifting up from the feet. And again, just have that sense of being a tree or a mountain, but very alive. The next sequence we're going to do is a twist, but actually it's a fascia release movement. So this is, again, going to help the whole system. It helps with fascia, which means helps all the tissues and fascia to release, and it also helps with blood flow. So I am dyslexic, so I always find this slightly difficult to teach, but hopefully I will get this right. So we're going to start by crossing the left foot over the right. So you're going the other way if you're mirroring me. And then the right hand comes to the left shoulder. And then the left hand comes around the waist. Now, this is also a balanced posture. So in a minute, I'm going to suggest you look at a spot to help you with your balance. You're going to turn your head towards that hand that's on the shoulder, the left hand. And you're going to turn your body towards the right, almost as if you are squeezing something. And you breathe, focusing on a spot if that helps you with your balance. And the more you twist to the right, the more you're squeezing and opening your fascia. But come out whenever you're ready. When you're ready, coming forward and unwinding your feet, and then just shaking out your hands and your legs. Now we'll try that to the other side. It might feel different on one side to the other, but that's always fine. So we're going to cross our right leg over our left. And this time our left hand comes to our right shoulder. And the right hand comes around the waist. And then the head looks over to the right towards that hand. And we twist the trunk towards the left. And breathe, focusing on a spot if you need help with your balance. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, come forward. And again, just relax everything release. Stand into Tadasana Samasthiti just for a moment. Feel the aliveness in the body. And then when you're ready, we will be doing some more movement, but we're going to have a rest now, because as you know, I always think it's so important to rest between sequences, which also trains us, gets us into a new samskara, a new pattern. When we're off the mat, we know that we need to stop between activities. So please come down to rest in any way that's comfortable for you. On your back, maybe on your mat, or even on a bed or on a sofa.